You're watching Local 5 News at 10 in HD. We are Iowa's most accurate weather team, and we start with your forecast first.
Well, hi, everyone. We've had a day of locally heavy rainfall out there. Not in central Iowa. It's been in northern Iowa and now in western Iowa. And eventually, I think it's going to come into central Iowa overnight. So look for showers and thunderstorms to increase. A cold front's moving in. It's not really going to bring a lot of cold air, but it will bring several chances for rain for us here. So showers and thunderstorms overnight. A few of them left over tomorrow morning as you take the kids to school in some areas, especially south and east of town. More rain tomorrow night. We'll talk about our rain chances in the future coming up.
Also coming up on Local 5 News at 10, a man, a woman, and dog all dead inside a Polk County home. Tonight, the latest on the investigation. Plus,
I saw the boys out of the corner of my eye, and I glanced over, and then that's when I seen the other little boy get hit and fly.
A heart-wrenching eyewitness account tonight on Local 5 after a 6-year-old child is hit by a car in Des Moines. Then,
the Johnston Little Leaguers are now just one game away from the U.S. Championships, the latest from their journey to the Little League World Series.
Local 5 News at 10 in HD starts now. We are Iowa.
We start tonight with a breaking news update to a story we brought you first at 6. A man, a woman, and a dog all dead inside a home on Northwest 54th Street in Saylor Township, north of the metro. Tonight, the Polk County Sheriff's Office is investigating it as a suspicious death, but not much is known at this time. Here's what we do know so far. Shortly after 4 o'clock, Polk County Sheriff's deputies were called for a welfare check. Investigators say an officer saw a dead man inside the house. They went in and found a woman and a dog, also dead. We still don't know how any of them died. Local 5's Ashley Carrasco talked to family members who called police in the first place. She joins us now with their story. It's a story you'll only see here on Local 5.
Well, family members of the man found in the house were in tears, confused about what happened. Investigators are calling the deaths suspicious, but the family believes it was an accident.
I was hoping it wasn't.
A family in shock.
Found out about Channel 5 News. I heard it on there. A man, a woman, and a dog found dead in the house on Northwest 54th.
That's the brother-in-law of the man found dead in this home. He says after not hearing from the 26-year-old for about a week, he knew something was wrong.
It's not like him not to get hold of him.
The young man's sister tells us he just got out of jail last week and moved back in with his friend. That woman, as well as a dog, were also found dead in the home.
She's got a husband as well, but he was in jail, so right now, so I'm hoping that somebody at least, I hope he don't lose it in there.
Investigators are piecing together how the deaths happened.
We're told that they're considering that it might be suspicious. You don't think he would intentionally do something like that?
She says her brother borrowed the generator from her dad to go camping, and they might have been using it in the home.
He didn't have it ventilated or didn't have it ventilated properly. So I think that's what made him, he went to sleep, I think. They did, and he went to sleep and didn't wake up.
We were asked by the two people you saw there in the video not to release any names out of respect for their family, and the case is still being investigated. Ashley Carrasco, Local 5 News. We are Iowa.
Ashley, thanks. Now, as this story continues to develop, stay with Local 5 for the latest. We'll have information on our website. That's weareiowa.com.
now we have more on a hit-and-run crash that injured a little boy in Des Moines today. The 6-year-old is in the hospital tonight, but okay. And the woman accused of hitting him is already in and out of jail. The accident happened near 23rd and University, just east of Drake University. A woman and 3 kids were walking down University over the lunch hour when the youngest child bolted out into the street. A driver in an SUV hit him but kept going. Police later got a call from a woman who says she was that driver. They met her in the parking lot of Mercy Hospital. Tonight, 32-year-old Naomi McDonald faces charges of leaving the scene of a serious injury accident. Now, the young boy, whose name has not been released, is in serious but stable condition tonight. Local 5's Amanda Krenz spoke to witnesses at the scene shortly after this accident.
It was a loud thump and stuff. Our main concern was the child. And we all ran out. There was probably 15, 17, of us out here. And I went to get in my truck to see if I could follow him, but I left my keys inside on the counter.
Eyewitness Tony Van Worden said a 20-year-old nanny was with 3 boys when the youngest one, about 6 years old, went out into the street and got hit by a passing car on University Avenue. She was one of many witnesses who were sitting inside of a nearby restaurant.
I saw the boys out of the corner of my eye, and I glanced over, and then that's when I seen the other little boy get hit and fly. Just jumped out of the chair, and we all went running outside. There was a bunch of us, and I screamed at the girls inside to call 911.
Witnesses say they saw a dark-colored SUV hit the boy and drive away.
I stayed with the child for a second, but everybody kept saying they keep going. They kept going, and then my first reaction was to jump in my truck, which is right there, and try to follow them, but I didn't have my keys on me. It's just sad that somebody would hit a child like this and then just leave.
And that was Amanda Krenz reporting. Des Moines police do tell us that it is common for people in accidents like this to panic, but it's also Iowa law that you have to stop and help right there at the scene of the crash. That's why tonight, as we said, Naomi McDonald is charged with leaving the scene. They arrested her 90 minutes after the crash. She called police from her SUV in that parking lot at Mercy Hospital.
Well, unfinished business in Fort Dodge has homeowners and businesses pretty fed up tonight. The city began a $4 million sewer update that was supposed to span 3 blocks. Right now, not even 1 block has been finished. The project started in March with tearing up the streets, but since then, city officials say the contracting company has hit gas, sewer, electrical, and phone lines more than 27 times. The city engineer halted the project before it reached the elementary school, but business owners and people living nearby say they're feeling the effects.
And I had to push my hours back, closing at 2, because it has really slowed my business down.
We are one who are suffering from the condition that need to be hurried up and get done.
The city is continuing to settle with the company and have hired a local contractor to finish the block. The rest of the project will be finished in 2017.
New details tonight in a deadly motorcycle crash late last night in the metro. Tonight we know the man who was killed is 25-year-old Charles Coles. The crash happened at the intersection of Southwest 12th Street and Army Post Road. Witnesses say Coles struck a car driven by an 18-year-old man. Investigators say Coles was driving at very high speed on his motorcycle. We've also learned that the escaped Warren County inmate was part of a 3-car crash in Urbandale last night. That's how he eventually was caught. 26-year-old Scott Grimes was one of the people involved in the collision at 63rd and Meredith. He had escaped from the Warren County Jail last weekend. Police were chasing him before he crashed.
The Iowa Utilities Board scheduled a hearing to listen to landowners who want the Dakota Access Pipeline project stopped. They've set oral arguments for this Thursday morning. This is in response to some landowners demanding the company stop construction on their property until a lawsuit over the use of eminent domain is decided on. Yesterday, a judge denied the request to halt construction on 15 parcels of land, saying the landowners needed to file with the Board of Utilities first. Local 5 talked to one of the landowners who said this is just the beginning of a long fight that will eventually end up in the Iowa Supreme Court.
Well, we have heard from patients and doctors. Now someone else may be unhappy with Iowa's Medicaid switchover. Maybe not somebody you expected. The managed care companies themselves. We've learned that the startup costs are more than they had anticipated. That's based on reports filed with the state recently. One of those companies, AmeriHealth Caritas, has actually lost tens of millions of dollars. They sent us a statement today saying they're still committed to making this work in Iowa. They say, quote, during implementation, programs commonly incur startup costs, but they will find new opportunities to enhance how the program works in practice. Now, Governor Branstad is the one who spearheaded this whole transition from state-run to privately run Medicaid, and he continues to defend it tonight. He says the old system clearly was not working, so it was time for a change.
The old system of reimbursing providers based on how many procedures they did just encouraged people to be sent back to the hospital again and again for the most expensive care. We're trying to instead manage that care, help people stay healthy so they don't go back to the hospitals. They stay healthier, and it also saves money.
Iowa lawmakers do continue to ask tough questions of these companies and the care providers as well to see if this program really is working for the state. The next round of Medicaid oversight meetings are this coming Monday at the State House, and Local 5 will be there to cover it.
Also, some exciting news for Iowans as we continue to watch the World Series tournament tonight, the Little League World Series. It was an elimination game today for Johnston after last night's loss, but they weren't ready to go home just yet. Sports Director John Schaefer has highlights from today's win later on in sports, plus what's next for the team on their journey to the Little League World Series.
Also coming up on Local 5 News at 10 tonight, it is a golf tournament for a cause, and tonight we learn just how much the Principal Charity Classic raised.
Then how to make the college experience better for minorities. Drake University has a new plan to do that. We'll tell you all about it.
And back to school means saying goodbye to the kids. We'll take you along as they load onto the bus.
And there could be some wet weather for some of those kids tomorrow morning, including some locally heavy rain. We'll talk about that in your forecast coming up next.